Greetings and welcome to the energy of Pisces. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Order of the Twin Sun. Please take only what you will. So, we shall be conjuring up from the 12th house a projection and look into the 6th with this reading, the axis of abstraction, but also of contemplation of the sea of information, of blocks that manifest on the path of freedom, on the path of liberation. So those are some of the motifs. The moon's energy as well as Mercury's energy, Neptune will be strong in this reading. We shall look also into the Great Mirror, which is a tool devised by the Order of the Twin Sun in order to see particular karmas that may exist between Pisces and the opposite, the significant other, whoever that may be. It could also be insignificant other, it really depends on whoever is watching this. So we'll begin firstly with a look into particularities of karma that may exist for the month of September 2022 for the energy of Pisces. There is a need to repair or come to balance with the grips on the, I would call it, third chakra, which is essentially an energetic field that culminates from the most important system of connections within the body that culminate in the solar plexus, And there's a sense here that dark is coming to light. The twin sun emerges, in which there is a need to rectify or perhaps to get rid of the distortions or the noise within that part of the chakra system. Meaning that you are being empowered with insight, but it's coming in the form of fear for the month of September when it comes to this connection. Meaning that there's something about it that actually promotes a sense of purgation as well as purification within that part of the system. Once you do this with this connection, there is an ability for you to transcend and perhaps become powerful in one way, shape, or form. It's not to say that you're not powerful. There's something about this that has to do with simply a psychosomatic resonance that culminates in the energy field of the solar plexus that allows for the dark sun to emerge. The dark sun or the twin sun comes from the center of the earth. This is one interpretation. The center of the earth resonates with an energetic sort of reflection of the earth's potential to mirror or capture the sun's energy, the literal sun that is out there, our sun in the solar system. So an intuitive hit may be hitting you, and it manifests in something that you don't know, therefore causes fear. The idea here is to open up to that part of the energetic body that would allow for empowerment and gross realization in terms of your own physical manifestations, as well as the subtle body's ability to reflect the type of empowerment that comes through the twin sun. There also is here currently. Let's look to the past first. There's something about the semblance of mind, some sort of escapism when it comes to this connection, the ability to leave things as they may be, to also avoid emotional currents or the transference of energy in order to find some sort of peace of mind is here in the past. Now there is some sort of reckoning that has to be had in terms of what results from that. If you escape your issues with this particular individual or the significant other, or perhaps your own issues when it comes to your own path, where you're constantly being deluded by Neptune, or perhaps escaping to the passage of the mind, in which the mind can send you off into many various new realities. What then is, what comes of your own footing, what comes of the fruit of the labor that you put in. The idea here is actually to take the Three of Pentacles, which emerges from the Seven in the reverse. If you are trying to deal with your role or your proprietorship, your authority within society, within the norm of reality, then perhaps it's an indication of you going against the status quo, having a rebellious urge to go against certain things. And this is all indicative of the energy of Uranus in Taurus, as well as a conjunction of Rahu there, as well as Mars that departed last month. Okay, from that conjunction, there's been a great deal of instability when it comes to the propriety or the authority that we have within our own reality, in which certain structures or hierarchies do not fit our narrative or our timeline. The ability here for you to deal with karma that has to do with the letting go of expectation of gross realities that manifest in terms of your own expectations, and how these fall short from the disorderly conduct of a chaotic world in which Taurus is not satiated, is pointed to here. There also is a possibility of the Two of Rods emerging, a choice that is going to emerge in terms of a platform that manifests ahead of you, that allows for a gateway to true liberation as well as true insight when it comes to your own empowerment and the ability to make a choice. Okay, these are all pointed to in terms of the energetic karmas that may be in store for you in September. Now we will move over to the next segment, which has to do with the tool known as the Great Mirror. The Great Mirror is a tool devised by the Order of Twin Sun in order to see particular karmas that may exist for the energy of Pisces and a significant other. This other can be a person, place, or thing. Could also be your own self in terms of the transference of the higher to the lesser form of your own self manifestations that occur disregarding time and space, the trappings of time and space. The higher self can emerge out of this as well. Please take only what you will. I do thank you for your time. So the letting go of expectations is a big theme for you this month, in particular when it comes to romance and design of expectations, when it comes to emotional connections. There is a type of headiness when it comes to all of this, a game, and it's important for you not to partake in this game lest you be sort of subject to the expectations of the limited, to the expectations that are presented in terms of your own capacities to produce an effect when it comes to creativity, when it comes to romance, when it comes to the idea of love. The question is, what is that which you are seeking, or that which you know that is, inherently within, inherently found within. There is an inner practice here that has to do with the quest for truth, as well as the ability to have clear insight when it comes to representing your own way of communication. Whatever you're dealing with, whomever you're dealing with, there is a lack of that in particular. It's not a lie, but there's something about it where all truth becomes subjective, and it really becomes a quandary in that respect, if there is always a subjective other or a subjective way to see another or have some form of rapport with another, and through this lens of subjectivity, how then do you find an objective? How then do you find the middle ground in which there is a possibility for resonance when it comes to the idea of bringing forward, truthful communication? Now, you're dealing with someone who has been greatly affected by the Lion's Gate, okay, and that happened very recently on the 8th of August. When you're reading this, it will be still a month has passed when you're going through this reading. But still, that gateway has been particular, and it activates something, at least for the energy of Virgo, whomever you may be dealing with in terms of your 7th house. It activates their 12th house. Okay, what does that mean? It means that there is a form of dissolution, or a form in which Neptune, it allows them to go deeply within into the veil, and to understand their own misgivings when they're dealing with their shadow. Okay, this allows for the genius of the opposite for them, which is the genius of Aquarius, to reign supreme. This has to do with the gaining of power. The idea here is for Pisces, when it comes to this particular situation, to embrace the 11th and the 12th houses. Okay. That allows for the freedom of action in a humanitarian way, in a caring, humanitarian, yet objective, truthful way, to step back, and also to allow for the space to transform in terms of the 12th house. Okay, 12th house is usually not indicative of transformation, but in this particular reading, there's something about the movement from the 11th to the 12th houses, which is indicative of our very age. Okay, the new age, which has to do with the Aquarian aspect of it. With the Hanged Man in the reverse, this is a very particularly strange Hanged Man in this deck in particular. It's known as La Prudence, which is prudence. And the Hanged Man is prudent, but it's prudent for its own reasons. There is a structure within the disorderly conduct of Aquarius that is eccentric, that is very strange indeed, but it's designed to understand the antithesis. It's designed to understand the sort of tick-tock of any structure, as well as the ability to also find the antithesis to any poison or to any sort of thing there. Therefore, Kundalini awakening is very greatly reflective of Aquarian energy, as well as through the awakening moving to the 12th house. It talks about deep spiritual realization. So therefore, both of you are opposite to each other by 7 or 8 houses, okay, which has to do with the transformation of a relationship. The idea here is to embrace something of a secret or dormant power that lay hidden within the Lion's Gate, to consciously evolve in such a way to understand the notion of a type of relationship that is subjectively sort of layered, that allows for the transference of various expectations, as well as toxic sort of borderline empathetic resonances, transferences of energy that actually indicate something of a purification process here. I rather like this reading. At the same time, there is no sovereignty in the Queen of Rods in the reverse. There's something about the vision being lost, no longer being diluted by the projections of expectation, by the veil. The irony is that you're actually embracing this, and they're also doing shadow work in order to produce an effect. What kind of effect? It really depends on the nature of the magic that is being coerced here. There also is the idea of coercion that needs to be sort of understood, because that is the path of the darker forms of magic that actually don't allow for a proper effect. The Lion's Gate is very particular in that it will bring in or bring forward a communication with other beings that can reflect a higher or a lesser degree of lightness. So it's important to embrace some of the more higher forms that may come here. If you're going through a darker period with this person, the idea here is to give space. Now, I do see here a realm of experience. This is a very experiential a connection that allows for the soul to grow over time and to allow also tower energy to reign supreme here. That means, especially with the tower, that Jupiter's influence, the thunder and the lightning that allows for a calling here will shine light essentially on what is definitely lacking here, which is a sense of structure, but also a dissolution of structure when it comes to this situation, this person. There's a great deal of expectation here. A choice needs to be made in order to have an effect. This has to do with separation as well, truth emerging through deep pain and through deep feelings of thought and feelings, sort of giving an effect of this pain, okay, this pain principle. It's a painful connection, whatever this is. There's a lot of negative energy in terms of the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Rods in the reverse. And it allows for primarily the bridge to occur, which is the 9 plus the 2 of Swords. So it's either the 7 of Swords or the Ace of Swords that emerges. That allows for a great number of things, but primarily of distinguishing and sort of reifying a certain degree of objectivity. Okay, there's a lot of cold cutting energy when it comes to this reading, that speaks about the bridge that needs to be cut, or the bridge that also needs to produce a certain effect. But it could be a bridge of fear. It can be also a bridge of intuition. There are a number of things that speak volumes to me in this type of connection. But I think ultimately there is a type of evolution when it comes to the growth of an individual from the Page of Pentacles to the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. The Page of Cups into the Knight of Cups in reverse, which allows for the maturation and the understanding of the game, the nature of what is required for Pisces to have some sort of understanding when it comes to how emotions are conveyed, how love is conveyed in such a way that the Two of Cups in the reverse shows up, and it does not bode well for some sort of emotional understanding. Ultimately, though, I do see here a lot of space, okay, and a lot of freedom within that space, and I think that should be utilized in the highest degree if possible. That's the best I can do. Very abstract reading. Hopefully that resonated. Hopefully it didn't. Either way, I do wish you well. Thank you. Bye bye.